Now we know how to hunt. What's more important is to know what to hunt. Here is your guide to your best legal fish. This is an important one. Getting caught out doing the wrong thing will not only ruin your day, but will also ruin the marine environment. These rules and regulations are set to protect marine environments and threatened species. As an ocean lover, respecting our environment should be of the most utmost importance. Also, some fish are just not worth eating. Fishing is heavily regulated. So before we go in for a spear, be sure to familiarize yourself with the local laws. For example, most of our coastline are marine sanctuaries, even around the world. These are set up to not only protect the environment, but to also protect threatened species. So for example, if we're found spearfishing in one of those zones, not only will it hurt the environment, but will also most possibly get us landed in court or repossession. Another regulation we need to focus on are fish bag size and limits. These are set up to make sure that those smaller fish have a chance to reproduce. So if we're caught catching smaller fish, not only will it harm the environment, but it will also land us in court or with a penalty. If you're underwater diving and you're unsure of the size or limits of a fish that you found, your best bet is to just leave that fish alone. Now, for example, in New South Wales, the Department of Primary Industries has plenty of information online to tell you your fish size and limits, and also relevant pictures for you to identify yourself with. So for example, the mahi-mahi, it has a minimum size of 60 centimeters. You're only allowed to catch 10 per person, and one of them is only allowed to be above the 110 centimeters. Measuring fish underwater is a little bit tricky. And on top of that, what makes it more difficult is underwater, the perception makes some fish look a little bit bigger than they are. So when starting out, be sure to only target those fish that you are 100% sure it sits within that size limit or range. To get yourself better at measuring fish, once you're out of the water, measure that fish and compare against what you thought the size of that fish was. Finally, we are only going to be catching fish that we are going to eat. So it's important that we know that they taste good. A simple Google search will tell you, for example, some temperate fish, like for example New South Wales, will be kingfish, snapper, silver brim, or your flathead. In more tropical waters, your coral trout and barramundi will be of the best tasting range. With all that said, go out there and catch your dinner.